Hi students, now I am taking the chapter microorganism from class 8. In this present situation, you are very aware about the different types of microorganisms. Some of the microorganisms are very useful to us, some others are very harmful. So, one of the examples are about the harmful organism is COVID-19. You know that these types of organisms cause the severe diseases compared to others. What is the main reason for that? These microorganisms are very small and we cannot see with our naked eye. That's why we are calling it a microorganism or microbes. Where we can see these microorganisms. These microorganisms are present all around us, but they are too small to be seen with our naked eye. They are present everywhere in the atmosphere, air, water, soil, and even our bodies also, inside and outside. Microorganisms are very small organisms which cannot see with our unaided eye. They can be seen only with a microscope. Some organisms we can observe through compound microscope, but some others we cannot see through that microscope. We must use the electron microscope. Example, virus. The microorganism may be unicellular and multicellular. You know the difference between the unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular means that organism having only a single cell. That single cell perform all the life activities. The multicellular organism means that organism having more than one cell. That's the difference between the unicellular and the multicellular organism. The microorganism may exist alone or in colonies. Example, bacteria and fungi. They are live in colonies. And for example, you might observe that during the rainy season, the moist gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with greenish or white patches. In this figure, you can easily see that. Actually, what is that? That is the infection of fungi. That means the fungi, in that condition, this fungus that is grown on the surface of the bread. It's a bread mold. At the same time, you know that this fungus that is also grown on our leather bags, leather shoes and silk clothes, etc. So, during the rainy season or wet climate condition, we can see the white patches on those surfaces. Then, what are the different types of organisms, microorganisms? There are mainly four main types of microorganisms: bacteria, fungus, algae and protozoa. So, in this case, you have some doubt about why this virus is not included in this category. There is some reasons. So, these organisms have a specific cell structure. You know that cell is the basic fundamental unit of life. This cell have a cell membrane, cytoplasm and a genetic material. All these organisms having that basic structure except virus. This bacteria, for some examples that is given here, the bacteria, the Lactobacillus and E. coli, algae, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra, fungi, bread mold, Penicillium and Aspergillus niger, then protozoans, amoeba, paramecium, etc. And why the virus that is different from the other microbes? The virus also considered as microorganisms. They are different from other organisms because they reproduce only in the body of the host organism like bacteria, plants or animals. So, in the case of coronavirus, we know that when it enters into the air medium, it is not active. But if we breathe or through the inhalation, once this virus enters into our body, that gives a suitable condition for its replication. So that's why we must take some preventive measures for entering these types of pathogens into our body. In this slide, you can see the pictures of bacteria, algae, protozoa and fungi and how these organisms different from other groups, and you can also see the cell structure. Examples of bacteria are spiral bacteria and rod-shaped bacteria. The spiral bacteria means that cell having spiral in nature. These rod-shaped bacteria having the rod-shaped structure. The cells having the rod-shaped structure. In the case of algae, the two examples are given there. One is Chlamydomonas and the other one is Spirogyra. The Chlamydomonas is a unicellular algae. So it's have a flagella. You can see the flagella. So it will help for swimming in water. In Spirogyra, you can see the spiral structure of chloroplast in Spirogyra, and it is green in color. Then Protozoa. This one is very familiar to you. One is amoeba and the other one is paramecium. These are the examples of protozoa, and the other one is bread mound. Bread mound, the penicillium and Aspergillus niger. These are the examples of fungi. So this is structure of virus. So you can see that this structure is not similar to the previous one. That means that there is no similarity with the bacterial cell, then algal cell and protozoans and the fungi. That means their cells having a cell membrane, cytoplasm and genetic material. But in this case, you can see a wonderful outer covering. Actually, it is not a cell membrane. It is made up of protein. You can see that the glycoprotein that is present on the outer covering of the viruses. And this combination of this protein is different in different viruses. And another one is inside this protein code, there is only the genetic material. In this case of HIV virus, we can see that RNA is present inside that. Because of the different combination of this virus structure, it is too difficult to identify the combination, and and also difficult to produce a new type of medicines for killing these type of pathogenic viruses. And these microorganisms we consider as some of them are very different and some others are full. These microorganisms play an important role in our life. Some of them are beneficial in many ways. In our daily life, we use the different types of microorganisms. Some examples are microorganisms are used for making curd from milk, for making cheese, pickle, bread, cake, pastry, alcohol, wine, vinegar, etc. So in your home, your mother prepare curd from milk. Do you know how she prepare the curd? So next time you just observe it, how your mother prepared that curd. She simply take 1 cup of milk and it's having a light warm, and into that she added 1 teaspoon of curd and mix it well and keep aside overnight. So the next day when we look that bowl, you can see that this milk that is changed into the curd. Which organism that will help for this curd formation? So your mother added 1 teaspoon of curd into that milk. That curd having lot of lactobacillus. When she added into that milk, this lactobacillus that will multiply and it will help to convert this milk into curd. The next one is making bread. The fungus called yeast reproduce in flour, dough and produces carbon dioxide during the respiration, which makes the dough soft and helps in making bread, cakes, biscuits, pastries, etc. So in the 7th standard, you study about the cellular respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The yeast cells that respires anaerobically. So after the respiration, it produces a lot of carbon dioxide. So that's why it keeps a fluffy nature or soft nature in that dough, and that dough is used for making the different food items. We use these microorganisms for our commercial purpose also. The microorganisms are used for large scale production of alcohol, wine, acetic acid, that is vinegar. And yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. I think that during the Christmas time, your mother also prepared homemade wine. Do you know how she prepared that wine? She take some grapes and smash it well and add the equal amount of sugar, and finally she added some amount of yeast and kept in a glass container and keep aside for few days. And in between that she mixed well for rapid growth of the yeast cell. And in that cases, we know that finally we will get the good grapes wine. So for this purpose, the yeast is grown in natural sugars. That's why we are using the fruit juices, then barley, wheat, rice, etc. And the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol, that is known as fermentation. And the fermentation is discovered by Louis Pasteur in 1857. Then what are the medicinal uses of microorganism? I think you have no direct aware about how these microorganisms that will help in our medical field, but you are very familiar with some of the terms we generally used in related to the medical field. That is, one is antibiotics. You are very familiar with that, antibiotics. How we get antibiotics? You know that we will get in a tablet form or in a capsule form. How we will get these antibiotics? Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsule or injections such as penicillin. The source of these medicines is microorganism. So from where we get this antibiotic? We get from the microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Streptomycin, tetracycline, erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics. Amoxicillin, I think you are very familiar with that antibiotic also, amoxicillin. It is also prepared from these organisms, bacteria or fungi. These medicines kills or stop the growth of disease causing microorganisms. So we take this, we extract this antibiotic from the bacteria and fungus, and that is used as a medicine for killing the same group of organisms. We have some tendency to take some medicines without the prescription of doctor, but in the case of antibiotic, that will cause some problems. It is important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. Also, you must finish the course prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses, it will make the drug less effective when you might need in future. That means that medicines have a particular dose for killing a particular group of organisms. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. In our alimentary canal, there is a lot of beneficial bacteria for keeping that system perfectly. So without the prescription from the doctor, advice from the doctor, when we take this antibiotic, that also kills the beneficial bacteria present in our body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against the colds and flu, as these are caused by viruses. We already discussed that these antibiotics we prepare from the bacteria and fungus. It is also useful for those types of organisms that will only kill the bacteria and the fungus. It's a history of the antibiotic. In 1929, the Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of disease-causing bacteria in his lab. Suddenly, he found the spores of a little green mold in one of his culture plates. You know that we normally use the petri plates for culturing the microorganism in laboratory. So, in his experiment, he used a particular type of pathogenic bacteria for culturing. But later he noticed that a green colored substances that is grown on that culture plate, and at the same time it will not allow to the growth of that harmful bacteria. He concentrated in that way. What is the reason for that? He observed that the presence of the mold prevent the growth of bacteria. In fact, it also killed many of these bacteria from this mold penicillin was prepared. That means later he identified that a particular substance from that green mold that kills the harmful bacteria grown on that Petri plate. So that is the penicillin. The penicillin is prepared from the Penicillium notatum. The next is vaccine. It is another important use of microorganism in the medical field. When a disease carrying microbe enter into our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. You know that at this present scenario, you heard about we should keep our health in a good way. We should take the good food and do the proper exercise and always maintain our body healthy. So in that way, is it possible to prevent the diseases? Surely we can prevent some of the diseases with a healthy body. And how is it possible means in our body we have a special system for fighting these types of pathogens. That system is known as immune system. So when a pathogenic microbe that will enter into the body, our body immediately reacts it. How it reacts means the white blood cells that produces a specific type of molecules known as antibodies. These antibodies are specific for a particular pathogen and it will help to kill that pathogen. Once it produced in our body, it always remains in our body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes. The next time if that pathogenic organism enter into our body, immediately it can attack it. That's the benefit of these antibodies. And this is how a vaccine works. Several diseases including the cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox and hepatitis can be prevented by vaccination. So normally these antibodies that will produce in our body, but we want to make a immunity, acquired immunity through the vaccination. The vaccines means it is dead or weakened microbes of the same group of organisms or its relatives. That's the meaning of vaccine. And we can inject. Through the injection, it will enter into our bloodstream and produces these antibodies in our body. And children are given injection to protect themselves against several diseases. Necessary vaccines are available in almost all hospitals. The vaccinations are given to children for protection against polio under Pulse Polio program. The polio drops given to children are actually a vaccine. This is called the oral vaccination. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from the several diseases. Then, what are the other uses of microorganisms? The next is increasing the soil fertility. But we are not aware about how this microorganism helps in nature. We always think about our body, our necessary things only like that. But these microorganisms have a big role in the environment for increasing the soil fertility and also our surroundings keep in a clean condition. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich the soil with the nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. We already studied about the rhizobium. It's one of the bacteria and also the cyanobacteria like blue-green algae. These bacteria that will help to enrich the soil with the nitrogen. So these are the pictures of the cyanobacteria. Then how these microbes that will help so cleaning the environment. So every day you know that in our home we produce a lot of organic waste. What will we do? We dump all this waste in our surroundings. So after 1 week, when you observe that area, we can't see anything heap on that particular place. Everything that is mixed with the soil. How is it possible? The soil having lot of beneficial bacteria and fungus it will help for degrading this organic material into the small substances, and these substances are again used by the other plants and animals. Thus, microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. So from this section, you can easily understand what are the beneficial use of microorganisms. Thank you.